Alright guys, welcome to a new video. In this video I'm going to talk about the Hisense TV, and many people are asking me, should they get this TV? Where is the catch? Why is it so much cheaper than the competitors? Okay, and I will try to answer this question: should you get it or not? And is there actually a catch in buying this TV, or is it just a normal TV that goes just cheaper than others because it's not as popular as, for example, Samsung TV, LG TV, and others? Okay, so here I have the Hisense TV. I'll try to turn it on right now. It comes with the normal remote control of good quality plastic as well. And to be honest, in 2 years of using this remote and this TV, I never had a problem using it. Okay, so I'll try to turn it on now. It takes a couple of seconds to turn on, so you just press once and then kind of turns on. But as I said, it takes a couple of seconds. It's a bit slower than my previous LG TV, okay, but it's still fine because it only takes a couple more seconds to turn on. Okay, so you can see I still have the protecting film on my TV. So what I want to say is that I've noticed a lot of people are kind of complaining that after a year or two, or very often 3 years of using Hisense TVs, they tend to kind of break, something just stops working, or it's kind of not working as it's supposed to work. Okay, so I've been using this TV for more than 2 years now, and as I said, I never had a single problem. And what I want to tell is that if you're a careful user, if you're not moving your TV very often, if just like I bought it, I put it in one place, and it's been sitting in this place ever since, as well as the protective film, as well as my remote. Nobody is sitting on it, children are not playing with it, we don't have animals. Okay guys, if you're just a careful user and you treat your technologies and devices like a normal person, well, nothing is going to happen to your TV. But the same applies if you have a Samsung TV. If you're not treating it right, it will break. Okay, it's common sense. So the next point is there is actually some catch in buying Hisense TV. So as I said, the quality is good, the quality of manufacturing and stuff, but what is not as good as on my previous TV is the matrix on the TV. Okay, and what does it mean is that if you try to look at it from this side, it's still very good because it's not a cheap TV. Okay, it might be cheaper than the competitors, but it's not a cheap made TV. Okay, if it makes sense. So if you try to look at this side on the TV, it still provides good colors and good picture, but it's slightly worse than what I had on my LG TV. However, I want to point out that the difference is very mild. Okay, it's not an easy thing to notice. Okay, you will only notice if you previously owned some luxury high-end TV. Okay guys, so that's pretty much the only difference. And the other one I would say is that the TV works slightly slower. So for example, if I try to move around and open some applications and stuff, it's just not as smooth as my LG TV. However, it can be fixed in the settings of the TV, but it will depend on the specific model of your Hisense TV. So I cannot show it on my TV because you might have a different model. Okay, so that's the second point. But other than that, it's a very similar TV. And what I want to say is that if you can afford a higher end TV, yes, just get it. But if you cannot, it's not a big problem. You're getting literally everything else that LG TV or Samsung TV provides. You're getting everything else for a much cheaper price. It's a couple times, sometimes it's 3 times cheaper than LG TV, sometimes it's 5 times cheaper, okay, than Samsung. Okay, so guys, just get this TV and don't be very stressful about it. It's a good TV. All right, if you found this video helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel.